Hi, I'm Will Cliff, Head of Elite Sport at Franklyn. Welcome to our Behind the Curtains podcast. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Curtain podcast. I'm Will Cliff, and today I'm joined by two of England's best badminton players, Commonwealth medalists, Olympians, and prepping for the next Olympics. Please welcome Ben Lane and Sean Vendy. Right, lads, today I want to talk to you a little bit. What about high performance, mindset, life on the world tour, and what it's like to live a day or a week in the life of Ben Lane and Sean Vendy. So, to add a bit of context, first of all, because a lot of people listening here won't understand a huge amount about badminton necessarily, or actually the popularity of it globally. It's probably fair to say it's a little bit underrated in the UK. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's hard for us to explain to like people in England how big it actually is in Asia. It's like when we go there, it's like we're like the footballers of China and Indonesia and places like that. So then you come home and it's like, oh, what's badminton again?
Do you ever think, oh, maybe we should move over there? Live that high life?
Be a bit easier, but he's got a family now, hasn't he?
Yeah, true.
Another kid, another one on the way.
So why do you think? So why do you think that is in terms of popularity?
I think, personally, I think it probably starts from the countries like Indonesia, Thailand. A lot of these countries at the Olympics, their gold, silver medals come from badminton. So I think the popularity in the country probably starts from people watching it on TV at the Olympics and then seeing badminton normally in a medal match. And then obviously, that was the reason why I started playing badminton, because I watched, it was probably 04 and 08 on TV, and that's what made me really want to do it as a job. Obviously, I was very young then, but I think the popularity in these countries comes from the base foundation of success at like Olympic Games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, like, and no disrespect here, but when, I think of badminton, I think of like school, getting the shuttlecock out, going in the sports hall. But I mean, I've watched like you guys in action now, and at elite level, it's tell us about the physicality, the speed of the shuttlecock. Like it's actually ridiculously impressive.
I still get that from all my schoolmates. They're like, that's what we used to do in PE, isn't it? It's like.
But yeah, I mean, the reality of it is the shuttle is travelling at what, like 500 kilometres an hour?
Yeah, I think the record was like.
So over 600 now?
Yeah, I think it's 351 miles per hour, whatever that converts to.
So it's like, I mean, imagine that flying at you. Like you haven't got long to react to it. But no, obviously it's the same as most sports really. Like obviously at elite level it's good. Good to watch, and yeah, obviously everyone's like world class. So
and we'll delve into the training a little bit later, but what's in terms of like a standout thing that separates, I guess, other than control of the bird, yeah, as he likes to call it, and what you do with your racket, like the footwork, from what I've seen, just looks insane.
Yeah, I think like what separates probably the players playing on the world tour, the top level, and then the level below is probably the consistency to be able to do it over and over again, which is what we find like when we're playing against Malaysians and these countries. It's the consistency at speed that they can do it. You don't often, because they start playing, so it's a little bit like football in England, in China, where they'll go into a badminton school from the age of 10, whereas obviously in this country we're in education until 16, 18. So they're training like full time like we are now from the ages of 10, like bit of education on the side. So then by the time they get to 18, they've done that. The whole, you need to do 10,000 hours in order to be a professional and be at the top level of the sport. So I think they just do it. They do it much earlier than we do in general, I would say, in Europe.
So the World Tour, just explain to me how that works.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally a tournament every week if you want to play it. It's and it varies from so it's similar to the tennis. We've got 4 big ones, which are called the Super 1000s, and it goes up from Super 100, Super 300, Super 500, Super 750, and then you've got the 4 big ones, and they're just scheduled around the year. So I think they try and split up the big ones, so you get like a couple of months in between, and ranking points, prize money, stuff like that comes from the top down.
Okay, so how many of those tournaments were you guys playing?
As in the whole, I would say throughout the whole, what do you reckon?
Probably 15 to 20 a year.
Yeah, 15 to 20 a year, depending on the year. Olympic qualifying, more because everyone's chasing points and chasing world rankings to get seeded at the Olympics. But on average, probably 15 to 20 weeks away a year.
Well,
Yeah.
right, well.
So it's a lot.
And they're back to back as well.
Yes, quite often it's.
The family loves that.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right, well, look, let's talk about the Commonwealth Games. I think we were chatting before, and you said it probably the highlight of your career. So talk us through the that journey and obviously the silver medal that you guys won there.
Yeah. So obviously, as we spoke about, we don't get to play loads on the tour in England. So in 2022, Commonwealth Games was in Birmingham. So it's always, we were obviously, 23, 24?
Yeah.
So, fairly new into like big. I think we played in Olympics, but fairly new into like multi-sport events. But it's, as we were saying earlier, it's definitely probably one of the highlights of my whole career so far. Our families, friends, because it was in Birmingham, they came for the whole 10 days while we were competing. The setup was just, you couldn't knock it at all. Full crowd every match we played because it was in England. They had like a show court where it was just one court with seating all around it. And yeah, then obviously semi-final we had playing a pair that we played 5 times before and never beaten. So obviously going into the match it was like very big, because if you lose that game you then have to play another game on the same day for a medal. You don't just lose in a semi and get a bronze. So there's bronze medal playoff. And yeah, we got through that one and yeah, just lost in the final, but overall just great 10 days.
And what have you done with the medals?
Framed them actually with a shirt.
Have you?
Yeah.
Got them on the wall.
Yeah.
Good question. I think my mum has mine. My mum's like, it's weird. My mum's still got like a cabinet at her house with all my like junior medals and stuff. So I was like, put that one in there as well.
That's a nice addition.
Yeah, it's quite a nice addition.
Probably one thing that trumps that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the partnership and the dynamic of that. How did it happen? I guess how's it evolved?
So originally I'm from Devon. Obviously Sean's from Milton Keynes where we train now. But when we were much younger, say when we first started playing tournaments, eight or 9?
Yeah, probably around there.
We had separate partners because you tend to play with someone who is from your area, because when you're young you just play with someone and then you train together. And then it got to like, what was it, 12?
I think we were under 14. There was a specific tournament which I think it was like a 4 nations thing.
Yeah.
Where basically like England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales come together and like compete. And obviously we'd been on the junior circuit for 3-4 years, not playing with each other. And then we kind of we're probably the 2 best ones. So we said to the coaches at the time, can you put us in together? They were like, not a chance.
They were like, we were an absolute nightmare together when we used to go on trips. So they were like, you're not playing with each other. Not happening.
Yeah.
When you say nightmare, what do you mean?
Just
young
boys.
Having some fun.
Yeah.
Having some fun. Say that says enough. That says enough.
So they were like, you're not playing with each other.
Yeah, that was the first thing. It was like, no chance. And we were like, okay, whatever. We thought that was coming. But then actually they came back and said, we'll try it. And I mean, we won that tournament.
Yeah.
And then never played with anyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
What was that like? 15 years later.
So do you think, if you hadn't have asked that question, do you think that they would have gone, okay, these are the best 2, let's get them together?
I think eventually probably, because it's just generally what happens when you go through the years and then, you both go to the National Training Centre when you finish school. Probably would have ended up playing with each other, but yeah, it just happened a bit earlier.
Brilliant. So on the court then, obviously you know each other so well. Do you have different roles on the court? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I would say over the years, it's obviously lots of sports have changed a lot. But now, especially in men's doubles, you have like the dynamic where someone's probably trying to get forward to the net more. One takes more of a role at like the rear court. And yeah, we're just trying to work out ways where you can have small edges over the guys that you're playing against. And so I used to play the mixed doubles as well, and then just stop playing mixed to a certain point just to focus on men's doubles, because just to try and get like more training with each other, more clarity around what we're doing. So yeah, I'd say Sean tends to take up more of a rear court role, and I try and get forwards a bit more. Probably because he's got a harder smash than me.
Is there, like when I've watched it and it's so reactive, like, is there a lot of communication in that? Have you even got time to communicate?
During the rally, you mean? There is, to an extent, but I think it's weird actually, we were talking about this the other day. Because we've played together for so long now, it's like we just see the same things. Like if he's at the net, he kind of knows what I'm doing. Like he knows what shot I'm going to play. So he's already like looking for, let's say, their likely reply and vice versa. Because I turned around to him the other day and said, I knew you were going to play that shot. Like I just saw it so clearly way before he played it. And that's kind of like one of our main strengths really. Like we've just been together since we were, like Ben said, 12, 13. So it's like we just know each other inside out.
Probably spent more time with him than he has with his girlfriend over the last 15 years. Just too much travelling.
It's funny. So we had this is a question that might be good for you. We had the Curry brothers do this last podcast, and Ben was actually saying he feels like he plays better when he's on the field with Tom, although there's like 15 men on the pitch.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you bring out the best in each other?
I think it definitely helps. I think there's people in the past that have played doubles, especially doubles in our sport, that have played doubles with each other that might not get along or see it as like, this is just business, this is just, it's work. Whereas obviously we've been friends since we've started playing with each other. If we're not at a tournament together, we probably go on holiday together. So I think personally, I feel it definitely helps being at a tournament and competing with someone that you obviously get on with. I think it definitely helps, no question.
Yeah. Any fallouts? Any sneaky little fallouts in there? Any times one of you has to give the other one a nudge and say, hey?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like we have that all the time, but like fallouts wise, never. Which is insane, right? Yeah. The amount of time that we spend together, it's like we're just like obviously quite easygoing, and I think it's because we've been doing it so long. It's just like we're just almost on repeat. But there's nothing that we haven't really got anything to fall out over.
No.
It's like if he's pissed off with me about something, he'll just tell me, like, you did this wrong, you did that, blah, 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 and it's just like, yeah, I probably did.
And is that, do you have a lot of that? What's the analysis like? I mean, I'm skipping through all sorts here, but you're just getting me thinking. So when you're watching games back, are you almost critiquing each other a little bit as well as yourselves?
Not necessarily critique. It's more like, do you think that's the right thing to do? Or because neither of us is doing something no one's making the wrong decision on purpose. You have hardly any time to react to it. So a lot of it is what you train day in, day out. Like, I think maybe over the last couple, obviously when you're a little bit younger and you're playing the sport because you love the sport and you're just playing, whereas over the last couple of years I feel like it's much more whatever you practice every day in training, when it gets to an important match or an important time in a game, you're probably going to just do what your muscle memory is or what you've practiced in training. So I think it's just like, of course, staying on top of each other in training. Everyone has days where you come in and you're knackered and you're like, it's a Friday afternoon here, like. But I think that those are definitely the most important sessions where you need to try and get the most out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It leads on really nicely actually, because when we've had other sports people on having these conversations, it's very much about what you do in training and that process, and then being able to trust that when you go into competition. So I guess that leads us on to sort of high performance and when you are in those moments and you know you've done the work, like you said. How do you cope with the pressure when it comes on?
I generally don't feel that much pressure. Just because at the end of the day, you're giving your best performance and you've practiced it. If you've done everything that you can do in training and at home, then you can't win every time. I think, especially in sport, I think one thing I've learned is there's way more lows than highs in sport, because we play a tournament every week, and last year we won one. So that means although we're getting through rounds, we've lost 14 times. So we played 15 tournaments. We've lost 14 tournaments and won one. So it's like, actually, week after week after week, you don't come used to losing, but you're more used to managing losing and then trying to get on with it and get on with the next one. I think generally don't feel that much pressure, because it's just give your best performance and that's all you can do.
It reminds me of the Roger Federer speech where he said he won 80% of matches, but like 50%, 51% of the points.
Won 22 Grand Slams or whatever.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like, I do feel a bit like it can feel a bit pressure at certain points and like moments of a match maybe, or even like last week we played a team event, and it's totally different because we're individual, it's an individual sport 95% of the year. But then actually when you're playing for a team and your match matters for the team, not yourself, it's like, that's a different kind of pressure. And last week it was like, even before the matches, you feel different, because it's like, I'm playing for a team here. You probably know. But it's like, if you mess up, if you don't get the win, then it affects everyone else, not just yourselves.
To be fair, it's not that I don't feel pressure. That might have come across the wrong way, because I think if you don't feel pressure, then it doesn't mean anything to you. I think it's more when you get asked, you obviously know when you're playing big matches, of course you feel pressure, but it's not as bad as what some people might think it is.
I hate watching.
Yeah, I think it's worse watching than playing.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you feel pressure because naturally you want to do well, but it's more, I think, just being able to manage it.
Well, I guess you're so in the moment, aren't you? You're so focused that the rest just kind of. All right then. So say it gets to 19-all. Yeah. Someone's got to serve. Who wants the shortcut?
I'll give it to him.
But that's just I mean.
That's a compliment to him.
I guess the ideal formation is me serving Sean at the back. So. There we go. I'll take the serve.
It's an easy.
I'll take the serve.
I'll take the smash. So.
Talking of pressure, there's no pressure like sitting here now with those eyes over there. Either of you ever heard of Andrew Chatterton before today?
We've heard of him.
Big name on the circuit.
Yeah. He used to be.
Right, well past it now, isn't he?
Oh, maybe the senior circuit, but.
Right, we'll move on quickly.
He's putting us under pressure.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it. I've not been in this position before.
Yeah. All right, you mentioned training, and actually you were saying like some days are hard graft, and actually you drag each other through. So, what does a training week look like? What will we broken down into?
I would say Monday to Saturday morning is. Yeah, it's broken down to. Generally, mornings throughout the whole week are badminton focused. So probably arrive at the training centre for 8 in the morning, and then finish the morning at about 11:30.
And is that on court the whole time?
Yeah, on court, like bit of warm up, cool down, but main bulk of the badminton session, for that.
Probably 9 till 11, right?
Yeah, 9 till 11. Maybe a little bit of stuff before, and then afternoon would be again depending on the day. So like Monday afternoon, we might do another hour on court, and then like an hour and a half in the gym, and then it'd probably be like that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursdays would be more of like an endurance-based afternoon. So a bit of badminton with some running or a bike. But to be honest, it's very repeat. It's very similar.
Luckily, we're not here for that much of time. So
Yeah.
the weeks we are here, it's like they're the same, but actually because
Most of it's in competition.
Yeah, a lot of it's 20 weeks
and
away.
I mean that's a general week, right? But obviously you have to take into consideration whereabouts in the actual year you are, because for instance, like next week, because we're 2 weeks out from one of the biggest competitions of the year, it's going to be slightly different. Like we're not going to be lifting heavy weights and stuff like that. We're going to be more trying to peak in 2 weeks' time. So the training will slightly switch, shorter sessions, sharper, like drills, and just trying to get you to feel good, really.
So you do have a period, what would be like a pre-season or an out-of-season block, where you can go after it with heavy weights and stuff?
There's not really an out of season, but I would say the biggest window we have is probably November, December, where there's the end of season finals is at the end of December. We didn't qualify last year, but that's probably the 8 weeks where if you can go after the gym and to build some strength for the year, then that's the place you do it, because January to October, it's just competitions all year round, and the countries we're playing play everything. So obviously we have to be a bit more strategic about what we play, because the culture is very different to what we're competing against. We can't be on the road for 35 weeks of the year like some of the guys are. Right. So yeah, it's very different, and it's also hard to compete with these countries who just have endless pots of money.
Yeah, okay, so that leads on again really nicely, because last time we were chatting, you were saying you're actually starting to build your own professional team around you to put all presumably, with the next Olympics in mind. So when's the next Olympics? 26?
28.
28. What's
Yeah.
that? It's 26 now. When's the? It's because I'm thinking of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good at it.
It has.
2 medals there, 2 gold.
Yeah.
Skating's
impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, back to you guys. What time of year is that?
So it's July?
End of July into like mid-August.
Yeah.
So at what point do you start looking at that cycle, thinking we need to structure what we're doing to peak for that?
So the actual the qualification is a whole year. So the qualification starts next April. So it's April to April. So actually, in order to build a ranking and where you want to be, it probably starts
this year,
midway through, because you need to be ranked where you want to be to get into the tournaments, to get a seeding for the Olympics. So I'd say the qualification period is although it's a year long, it definitely starts much earlier, because there's so much more that goes into it. I know a lot of sports have where you have the build up to one competition, and it might be if you get to a semi and a final, you're qualified for the Olympics, whereas the badminton is a 12-month ranking based on your average, and only the top 16 in the world qualify.
Right, well,
it's really tough.
Yeah, that is tough. So that team that you've now built around you, so you've got your own coach.
Yeah, so we've just started to sort of build a team in sort of collaboration with a sponsor. Still part of Badminton England, still part of the programme, but just a bit more trying to get a bit more attention around the little details, because obviously, as you know, what makes the difference between winning championships and maybe losing by 1 point is 1%. So if we can gain 1% or 2% from potentially a few minor changes, then we have to go ahead with it.
And what are those little details?
I think it's just to have our own coach on us every day, every session, as opposed to the coach looking after 6 players at once. You know what I mean? So you, like his or her time has to be split between 6-7 players. Whereas if we have our own coach, we know every day they're with us. They're going to see everything. Every tournament we play, they're with us. So you don't maybe have one coach at that tournament, then a different coach at that tournament. You get different feedback, different tactics, things like that. It's just, we just want it all to be like smooth sailing basically.
And do you take inspiration a little bit from other sports? Like I'm just thinking about the tennis now. Like they always have.
Yeah.
The elite players always have their own coach, don't they? Who's with them constantly.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely trying to be more focused along those lines. Although we're not going independent, we're still part of the national training setup in Milton Keynes. It's just we wanted to add in these, like you say, little bits from other sports where you see, you know, the professional guys. Okay, these guys have got their own coach. Like, can we do this? How does it work? But obviously, we still need to be in Milton Keynes because that's where all the players are. So we need to be training with them every day. So it's just a case of trying to bring in our coach and a bit of external psychology that can come and chip in, a bit of recovery here and there. I personally looked at a little bit like the tennis model and went like, how can we copy it a little bit and get exactly what we need to get the best performance.
Okay, so and obviously you touched on psychology there. Presumably that's a part of it. Strength and conditioning, nutrition. Does that support come from Badminton England as well? Have you sourced that?
Yeah, so actually it's still a very new thing. So we're just trying to work out little details around how it's going to look. But yeah, we're trying to have a program that collaborates together. So us two, Badminton England, work together. You know, Nathan Robertson, our coach, works with us, works with Badminton England. So sort of like merge them together because, you know, it's not a case of, we're going independent. We're still part of the national training setup, but just having a little mini program alongside it, I guess.
And if you don't mind me asking, from a psychology point of view, what does that look like for you guys? What are the sort of conversations you would have with a psychologist and try to get those extra 1%, I guess?
I mean, it's probably very similar to other sports. You know, it's things like, how do you stay in the moment? Like, how are you going to play the same at level as 20-year? It's just like, I don't really.
Yeah, I would say it's hard because I would say that's like that part of it is probably the hardest part. I think actually playing badminton because we've done it for so long is the easy part. It's the, you know, what, as Sean said, how do you play at love all in the first round, the same rally as 19 all in the quarterfinal? How's your mindset stay the same? And yeah, if there was a drink that you could drink to give you all the answers, it would be amazing. But
yeah, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because no doubt, I know it's 2 years away, but no doubt there will be a bit of pressure on you going into that Olympics. And medal hopefuls. Yeah, right in the, I'm sure. Well, I guess for you guys, what does success look like in that?
I think
any medal.
Yeah, I think success
looks like a medal.
In the end, looks like winning. I guess it's the ultimate thing, right? Yeah. There's no guarantees, right? There's no guarantees you're going to be successful in sport because everyone's trying to do the same thing. But we're just trying to give ourselves the best chance to be successful in every tournament we go to be honest. But of course, the ultimate goal in sport for me would be getting an Olympic medal.
Yeah,
no question about it. Yeah.
I love that approach of leave no stone unturned, do everything you can, and then just
see what happens after.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But obviously, you've been to the Olympics before.
Twice, yeah.
So how much, you know, has that experience, you know, how has it set you up? What are the learnings from previous?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the experience of it is amazing. It's like, it's an Olympic Games. It's like the best thing ever. But actually, once you're in it, all you want is a little bit more. So it's like, we now want a medal. It's like, we don't want to just compete at the Olympics, even though it's like how amazing it is to compete at the Olympics and be an Olympian. It's like, and you're Olympian forever, right? No one could ever take that away from you. But, you know, we've done it twice now, and it's like we really want a medal now.
We're a bit greedy, aren't we? It's like you always want a little bit more when you get, we're Olympians now. Just it's not really good enough unless you get a medal.
Yeah.
And rightly so, right? There's no point in, you've done it now, so let's go back and come back with something to. All right, lads. Well, let's come away from the court a little bit and talk about life in general and what you guys get up to. So, when you aren't playing badminton, that you seem to be doing all the time, what else do you do?
Good question.
You must have a favourite day off activity. Get a coffee.
Yeah, definitely get a coffee. If the weather's nice, play golf. If the weather's not nice, not to play golf. It's better when you got in the off. Not there is an off season, I said, but when there's a couple of beers in the buggy and play a bit of golf.
Get out with the boys.
Just sounds like an advert for the Franklyn Golf Days. Summer swim. Belfry this year. Don't miss it. Okay, but I was going to ask about other sports actually. So.
Golf. We like to play when we have time and when the weather's obviously.
But not
nice.
very good.
No, not very good.
You don't need to.
No,
especially if there's beers on the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other racket sports?
I played a little bit of tennis when I was younger.
Ball is too slow with the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Not
It's
like
not
the,
fast
not like with the bird.
No.
500 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I used to play football, but can't really play football anymore because of injury things, and it's just you don't want to do too much outside of badminton to.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you might get injured, or you might,
There's
tire yourself out, whatever.
We generally don't have that much time off either. We probably have 2 weeks a year, of holiday. That's it.
And it's probably actually spend some time with the other half and with the family because you're out there in the country, right?
Yeah. And those 2 weeks tend to be just try and get away from it for a bit. Maybe go away and just chill for a week. But yeah, they I would say 14, if we're lucky, 14 to 20 days maybe. And during the Olympic qualifying, not much. Those 2 years from 2027 to the end, we don't get that much time off. But yeah, when we do, if we get the odd day and the weather's good in the summer,
Drink coffee and play golf in the summer.
Yeah.
Stay inside in the winter pretty much.
And
rest.
Actually, we went go-kart.
I was going to say, don't ask him about.
Yeah, we went go-karting for my first time the other day. I was terrible. Got he lapped me. I think
got lapped 6 times.
No, not that many. But I went go-karting for the first time the other day. It was good. Definitely need to go again. And there's a few good ones around where we live in Milton Keynes. That was really good fun.
There's the new hobby.
Yeah, go-karting.
It's expensive though.
Sure. Do you ever play snooker or?
No, never. I never played. Never picked up a cue. No, never.
Fair. All right, then. This is a question that I used to get asked a bit, never knew it. But if you weren't badminton players, what would you be?
Well, I feel like it would have been something to do with sport because just generally come from a family who played sport, quite a lot of sport. My aunties and that side of the family play tennis, and my mum played badminton. Yeah. So probably some
still in sport.
Yeah, definitely some sort of sport. It's a good question because I always wanted to play. Even when I was in school, I always thought I'm giving badminton a shot, and then. From 18 to now, it's always been badminton. I've never really thought about anything else. Yeah, of course. Gonna have to at some point though.
That's true.
I can't be playing when I'm 50. Maybe I can, but not quite the same level.
Well, some people think they can. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, it's a very tough question. I mean, is drug dealer acceptable?
He's a very good chef. I'll give him that.
Okay, there we go.
He's a good cook.
Yeah, hidden talent.
To be fair,
yeah.
I also it's a bit of a weird one actually. I like construction.
Okay.
Weirdly, like building and renovations and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe something in that.
Property developer.
Yeah, it could be something like that. But it's just like Ben said, it's just always been badminton. So it's hard. It's hard to know where you might have gone if it weren't for it. But
so he's a good chef.
He's a good chef.
Does he do the cooking on tour?
If we have a kitchen, yeah, it's not me. It's really not me.
On tour either. But I cook at home. Yeah, I'll cook at home like every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the chef of the house.
So because you two do spend so much time together, when you are on tour, who's the one that has a lie-in, or you has to
we do have like designated tasks. Like Sean will find the restaurants, Sean will find the coffee shop. What will I do?
Yeah, I was going to say, you have designated tasks, he said.
Is there a messy one? Is there a tidy one? Is there?
Not really. No.
Generally, both pretty tidy, I would say. Like there's never a time where we're like, oh, the room's an absolute state.
I don't bring much to the table, I guess.
You know what? You sound like a great couple. I can see why you've been together so long. Congrats. Oh dear. All right, then let's wrap it up and talk about post-career, because you did say at some point, you might not be like Andy Chatton and play until your mid-50s to that sort of standard. But so what do you think? Have you even started thinking about it? I know it's such a hard question because you're so focused on 2 years' time in that Olympic Games, but has it started creeping into your mind actually? What can we do?
Yeah. I think definitely the last 6 months when we've been haven't been exploring options because I don't have any plans to stop anytime soon. But more, when you definitely get to an age where you're like, get a bit older, settle down a bit, you're like, what does it look like in 10 years? But yeah, I don't know, I've always had thought, could it be something in sport or could it be something totally different, like because it's been badminton for, let's say 25 years. And so I'm like, I don't think I would ever stop being involved in some way, but you never know what happens when you finish. But I've never,
But you guys
maybe you help us out. You went from being an athlete to
I feel like professional sport does give you a really good base, because it teaches you hard work, discipline, things like that are also translatable skills to business and other things in life. So it's it opens doors for you, right? Because the people you meet along the way is it's insane. So
well, you think the network you will have and the fact that people are going to want to speak to you because you've been Olympians twice, but you have started thinking about it because you told me before and about actually using that platform that you rightly mentioned to start building a bit of a brand.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, actually in the last, like Ben said, 6 months, we've probably thought, right, what can we do now which might help us in 5 years? So I think we've taken a bit of a step, especially on social media, just to try and get out there a bit more, because we're both useless on it. It's we don't even post, and it's we're missing such a big thing because it doesn't last forever, and we don't want to go in 5 years' time and actually you're not relevant anymore. And
should have started this 5 years ago.
Yeah. So I think if we can build up a brand together, and almost treat it as a business, right? We're a business together, and we're going to try and build it up.
Well, it's actually a really fascinating journey, isn't it? I know that I'd be following and trying to see what was going on, but the way social media is now and your build up over the next 2 years to 2026, behind the scenes stuff you do with training, the partners you work with.
That's what we're trying to go for. And I think, as Sean said, sport doesn't last forever. You get to a certain point where it's very different depending on your body and how you are, how long you've been doing it for. But I think, as Sean said, some doors might open up come later on in our career. And I think, like Sean said, I think personally you learn so much from being an athlete, moving away from home young. I moved away from my Devon when I was 17, just like that. And then you learn so much about yourself. But yeah, I think I've always been motivated, especially in badminton, by trying to be better, be better every day. Not going in tomorrow and being going backwards, trying to go forwards, and just motivated by trying to be successful, I guess. So whether that's badminton or whether that's something else after, I think that's the motivation that gets me up. Not necessarily I think it's just trying to be better the next day. That's what motivates me.
Yeah, I think between you there, you both nailed it as well. I think sport gives you the network and the people you know, but actually that grounding for how to achieve something, that process, that being consistent day in, day out. So I'm sure you all will smash it, but we don't need to think about that just yet, because we need to focus on the 2026, 2028 Olympics. And look, we're delighted to have you on board at Franklyn. It really is a pleasure, and thanks for sitting down with us. And I know that myself, Andy, the whole team, but our whole Franklyn community will be cheering you lads on and watching you come 2028 and throughout these next couple of years. So thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.